Hi folks, well the forecast for tonight looks clear, well for the early part at least, so I think I'll go out and get some imaging done. So tonight I thought I'd image the Eastern Veil Nebula, which is part of the Veil Nebula Complex, which is a supernova remnant in Cygnus, the constellation Cygnus. And it's really well placed still at this time of the year, at this latitude. Still getting the late summer constellations fairly well placed. In fact, this one's actually very high up at the moment. The summer triangle here in the northern hemisphere is very high in the sky at the moment, so there's still plenty of interesting objects that are perfectly imageable. I've actually imaged the Veil Nebula Complex before in its entirety, and I was really very pleased with that. In fact, I actually had that published in Astronomy Now. Woohoo! Tonight, however, I aim to just image the eastern veil component of this nebula using longer focal length. I'm going to use the Skywatcher Esprit 120 APO refractor along with the 2600 MC Pro, a one-shot colour camera. And because it's got a emission component to this object, I'm going to be using up to long dual band filter with that. And as I say, I've not imaged this particular part of the nebula before, so it'll be quite good to see how we get on with this. Let's hope the weather holds out and get some imaging done. I'm Dr. Ray, and welcome to AstroGatch. Right folks, so here's what the sky looks like here at this time of year. We've still got a lot of the summer constellations here. We have the summer triangle formed by Deneb, Vega and Altair, and the Veil Nebula is actually in Cygnus' Swan, one of the wings. So we can see it's in the south. It's at this time of night, it's about 6:25 in the evening, and it's very high up still. It's just crossed the meridian, or it's just about to cross the meridian. And if we zoom in, you can see the complex is here. And this is the Eastern Veil aspect of it here. So as I said, I've taken pictures of the entire complex using this short focal length refractor before. I actually posted that in an earlier video. So what we're going to do is try and obviously get a bit more detail by using a longer focal length in this particular region here. So for that, I'm going to use the Esprit 120 APO refractor triplet, along with the ASI 2600 MC Pro combined with an optolong filter, dual band filter. So although this object it is in part a broadband object, it also is a narrowband object. So to combat any pollution about, or just generally to enhance the signal, we're going to use the filter to assist with the imaging. You can actually see we're actually quite near the Milky Way here, and it's quite high up this time of year, this latitude, so we should, in theory, get a good imaging run at this if the weather holds out, and the fact it's high up should also help the imaging process. The thing about this object, this whole complex, it's the remains of a supernova that blew up between 10 and 20,000 years ago. And apparently, if it had been about then, it would have been brighter than star Venus as we perceive it now. But and the thing is, because it's this is a three-dimensional image, because this is a two-dimensional image, you don't really appreciate the three. It's actually a three-dimensional object. As the star's gone up, it's actually exploded out in all sorts of directions, you know, in 360-degree direction. I've actually got a couple of little videos here which will show you to illustrate the point. All right, so quite nice videos. I think it illustrates this whole explosion quite nicely and how this object originated. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and do some imaging. All right, it's a reasonably clear night, and we've got the scope running, and we have a plate solve. So we've got the mount synced. So let's get it over to the Eastern Veil Nebula. So indeed we have the Eastern Veil Nebula. Here we are here. So next thing to do is just to get ready to set up the imaging sequence. All right, so it's not the bestest of seeing tonight. It's a little bit hazy. And also here in the UK, it's November the 5th, which is Bonfire Night, Guy Fawkes Night. So potentially some fireworks going off, although in the rural area I live, don't tend to get that many because of the livestock situation, but hey ho, let's see what happens. Anyway, we're going to run 4-minute exposures, sub exposures. So let's get started. That's the first sub in. Looks pretty good so far. Focus is good. Guiding's good so far. Let's just let it run, and hopefully the weather will continue to play ball. But who knows? Well, here's the radar map of the UK. This is Scotland here, obviously. I am roughly here, a bit further. Yeah, probably about. Yeah, I'm about here. So as you can see, there's some clouds on the way in, unfortunately. For those of you that are looking at this from abroad, from the US or Europe, this bit here is actually Loch Ness, where the monster is. So I'm not too far from Loch Ness. Maybe an hour's drive. Anyway, looks like there's some cloud coming in. So let's see how we get on. Here we are in PixInsight, and this is the stacked image from the session. It's about 4 hours, I think, and you see it's not been stretched at this point in time, but it's a good signal, And I have that perform background neutralization, automatic background extraction, color color calibration, and blur exterminator on it. So the next thing to do is to stretch it. And for that, I'm going to try a unlinked stretch, I beg your pardon. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And after that, I am going to perform basically star elimination. I'm going to create a star field. So here we have nebula only and the star component here. And I've renamed them accordingly just to make life easier later. So let's just move that one out of the way. And again, let's perform, because this has been taken with the Optilong L Extreme dual band filter. I'm going to perform a HO normalization. And it starts to look like this. I have to say that these tools here and here are by Bill Blanchin, absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing. And if you haven't got these, then you should really go ahead and get them. Not only are they brilliant from a functional point of view, but they're free. Incredible. Anyways, we've performed the normalization. So the next thing to do is, again, let's start using these masks. So let's just start with the yellow mask. Take that over onto our image, and it should produce a mask in a few seconds. So here's a yellow mask. Let's blur it so we don't get the sharp transitions. Then we'll add the mask to our normalized image, like so. Save the mask here, and let's not see the mask to make life easier for ourselves. And then it's curves. So again, we'll put the preview up. And let's start with red. We'll see the effect almost immediately. Well, immediately. That looks okay. Again, there's no right or wrong with this. It's how it all looks to you. And again, by the same token, if we're happy with that, we can move on to adding a bit of green. And it gives it this more golden sort of Hubble-like kind of vibe. So we can go through all these colors, masks here, and try out various adjustments. But clearly, there's quite a large blue component here. So let's put the blue mask on. Oh, first of all, we have to get rid of the yellow mask. Let's try the blue mask. And again, we want to introduce blur onto here so that the transitions of the mask aren't too sharp. Like that. Mask in place. Again, we have the, no, I don't want to do that. What am I doing that for? There we go. Put the preview up. So again, we can see the effect on the blue component. Okay. Right, so we can fiddle about with all the masks and get the colour rendition that we really want. Right, so once I'm happy with the colour rendition, what I tend to use is this process here, local histogram equalization. And it's important, obviously, to get rid of the previous masks. And what I find with this process, again, you've got your preview, is that if it's used sparingly, it can actually produce, you can really make the image pop. So that's really far too extreme. So we'll back that off a bit. Likewise here. And so we're happy with that, of course. We can apply it to the image. And there we have it. I'm not sure how well you can see that on YouTube. That's without. That's with. So once we're happy with everything, at this point anyway, then we can go on to the stars and perform whatever processing we want in them, either star reduction, for example, or a bit more saturation of the colors or altering the colors, whatever. And then, of course, we can recombine the two in pixel math, apply some noise extermination, get rid of the noise, and do any further processing that you feel is necessary to get the final image. As I say, you can play about with all these masks and color curves. See, you know, there's no right or wrong. It's simply get a pleasing image that you're happy with, and once you're happy, obviously, save it. So I haven't gone into everything I've done here. Take far too long, but essentially that's my process. So without any further ado, let's have a look at my finished article. I'm quite happy with it. It was a good integration. There's a lot of detail there, so a lot to play with. Anyway, here's the final image. Well, folks, hope you liked the image. I was actually very pleased with it. Got a good integration time on that. Consequently, because it's a reasonably bright object, I got a really good signal on it. So it was relatively easy to process. I'm sure you'll agree that it does bear more than a passing resemblance to the profile of the Joker, hence its alternative name these days. Yeah, I'm generally pleased with the outcome. I hope you liked it too. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks again for watching, and remember, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out, and it doesn't cost anything. It just means you get the heads up if I produce more content. So, thanks again for watching, and remember, keep watching the skies.
Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the sky.